Frederick Gargote was born on June 12, 1972, in Lewiston, Maine, to a German father, Christopher Holzer Gargote, and a Canadian-American mother, Rosa Gargote. His birthplace, the Gargote Farm, was owned by his parents ever since the last occupants died of old age. Even though it looks like it, his birth name wasn't Frederick Gargote, but Keno Gargote. Keno had an older brother named Jonathan, who went by Johnny most of the time, and a younger sister named Sharon. Sadly, a few years after Keno's birth, and a month or so after Sharon's birth, Rosa Gargote committed suicide after a rather nasty divorce with Christopher. In 1984, Keno found out that Christopher escaped from an insane asylum in 1970, and told Johnny. Because of this, Christopher was sent back to the asylum, and Keno and Sharon went to live with Johnny. In the same year, Keno was diagnosed with split personality disorder, very likely due to losing both of his parents. One day, in the summer of 1989, Keno ran away into the woods. During his time in the woods, Keno got the name Frederick Gargote because the first thing he killed was a stray cat he found in the woods and nicknamed Frederickson. After a while, Frederick was found, adopted, and lived in San Diego, California. There he would graduate from high school, got his Bachelor of Arts, and get his job at Nickelodeon. Once a year, Sharon and Johnny would come over to San Diego to see how Frederick was doing. He had a normal life before working on Happy Appy, except for the times his split personality told him to do bad things. At age 27, Frederick started work on his show called Attack of the Killer Apples. The show was about a small country town that was attacked by evil apples, and the townsfolk invented Rube Goldberg machines to kill the apples. The idea was rejected, but Frederick got a hold of a fellow worker named Keith Blue, famous for his stop-motion commercials and shorts on Noggin. Frederick quickly reworked Attack of the Killer Apples into Happy Appy, a show where an apple went around healing kids. He presented a production reel made by him and Keith to the managers, and Happy Appy was accepted. A day or so after this, Frederick got to meet some employees he would work with on the show. Of course, there was Keith Blue, who oversaw and approved or declined any claymation effects done on the show. Other than Keith, Tristan Drews and Kevin Christensen were the creators of the clay Happy Appy puppet. Tristan Ye did the voice of Happy Appy, John Tresti created the music for the show, and John Wilkinson helped write some of the scripts. As the show began production, Frederick's split personality got worse. For example, he would suddenly become enraged at employees, telling them that they should never have worked for the show. Because of him, a few did quit working on Happy Appy. Most of the crew, however, felt some sort of sympathy for Frederick since he was a man whose split personality would pester him until his death. It was lunchtime in the studios when he walked in. Frederick was holding a long rope. Everyone in the room wondered what was on the other end. Eventually they saw what was on the other end. It was Tristan Ye being dragged by his legs. The employees almost didn't even get to eat their food because Frederick said, "Okay, back to work everyone," in a booming voice. One of the employees ran up to him and said, "Oh, so you are not going to let us eat our food?" Frederick sighed and rudely replied, "Okay, fine. Eat your food and get back to work." Very rudely, before going to the stage where they would film Happy's vacation and hurt Happy. After lunchtime, the employees get into the sound set. They were told to do some filming tests before filming began at 2 p.m. Frederick went to Tristan and removed the rope from his legs. Tristan gave Frederick a look that could kill and ran off to practice his lines. The others got to work on some scenes that looked difficult, like Happy in his van and Happy helping a child. Finally, it was 2 p.m. The employees who worked on the scenes themselves got ready, and Frederick said, "Action!" They filmed Happy driving his van, which was the first non-opening scene in Happy's vacation. Normally, the song that would be playing on the radio was the Happy Appy theme. The employees had agreed on it. However, Frederick played something different, a country rendition of Hot and Cold, which only played for the first 15 seconds of the episode. As they were filming the beginning of the episode, Kevin Christensen came in late due to a traffic jam. When he heard what Frederick did to Tristan Ye, Kevin instantly lost his temper. He screamed, "What the fuck did you do to Tristan?" at Frederick when the crew was almost finishing the scene where Happy heals children. Frederick blandly said, "Cut," before he glared at him. Kevin said, "Seriously, if you drag a voice actor into the studio by a rope, or better yet, anyone into the studio by a rope..." Kevin didn't know what to say for a few seconds. Finally, he said, That's just wrong, okay?" Frederick ignored him and filmed the remaining scenes for Happy's vacation. The show first aired on Noggin on April 26 and got decent ratings and a noticeable amount of fans. In response, Nickelodeon signed a contract allowing an additional season of Happy Appy to be made. A few episodes later, the show took a hiatus, mostly because the employees were getting sick and tired from being forced to make episodes within a week. The hiatus would have fixed their schedules and improved the special effects. Frederick walked into the meeting room when it was nearing the middle of the show's hiatus. He said, "Guys, I've got a great idea for this episode," and handed everyone scripts of the episode. Kevin Christensen was the first crew member to get a script. The first thing that stuck out for him was the episode name, because it was called The Towers. Why The Towers? Wondered Kevin. He took a look inside the script. It began with an innocent intro. Happy Appy was talking to two children about the cycle of life. Interested, Kevin went to the next page. And as soon as he read the first sentence, he wished he hadn't. The entire page was a giant action shot of two towers burning up, with a jet plane's tail sticking out of one of them, while people panic. This time, Kevin knew something was up. He got up, tapped Frederick on the shoulder, and in response, Frederick turned around saying, "Yes, Kevin?" Kevin said, "Okay, I know something's wrong with you. Why the hell did you make this sick fucking thing?" And Frederick awkwardly replied, "Well, this is an episode that's not going to air." He chuckled in a suspicious way and continued, "We're going to make this episode just for fun. What? Do you have a problem with it? Don't you want to have fun filming this show?" Kevin sighed and apologetically said, "Okay, fine, but if you do air it on Noggin, oh man," before storming off. And so, when the studios had spare time from filming the episodes, The Towers was secretly filmed. After it was completed and edited, Frederick showed the episode to the employees. It started with the intro, and went into the episode. It started with Happy Appy talking to kids about the cycle of life while going around the playground. An employee who was sick the days they started, worked on and finished The Towers, said, "Hey guys, this looks innocent enough. Why aren't we going to air this?" Jim Forster said, "Oh, just wait." As soon as he finished, the kids said, "Thanks, Happy," and smoke creeped behind Happy, so they both turned around. The two towers were burning up, with people screaming, fires growing, and a plane tail sticking in one of the towers. A kid was crushed by a piece of metal, while other people tried to lift it up. When a kid asked Happy why the towers were burning, he turned to the camera with his death smile and said, "That's natural, children." All the employees were shocked at what they had worked on, but were quickly given a sense of relief when they realized it will never air. No matter what happens, that sense of relief would be gone a day later. On June 3rd, 1999, at the Nickelodeon Studios, Frederick walked into the broadcast room with the tape for The Towers in a messenger bag. He put the messenger bag under the table and said, "Hey, let's talk about Happy Appy." Frederick got some bottles of water out and handed them to the men who were working there. The first man said, "Yes, what is it?" Frederick said, "I've got new episodes for Happy Appy, yes. I know it's in the middle of the hiatus, but we think we're ready to go. But first, before I show you the tapes, please drink your drinks if you know what's good for you. You'll think the episode's better than the earlier ones." The two looked at Frederick very suspiciously, but they decided to drink their water bottles anyways. It was a bad move, because they started choking and collapsed within several seconds. Frederick had drugged the bottles of water. He shut and locked the door and quickly ran to the command console. He opened the bag and took out the tape for The Towers. He put the tape in, and suddenly, all across the nation on Noggin, whatever was on was interrupted with a new episode of Happy Appy. Since a lot of kids loved Happy Appy, only a few kids complaining to their parents. They just watched the episode as normal, until the most infamous part played. In every house that had the episode playing, anyone who was there, from babysitters to relatives to friends, anyone heard a child crying. Whoever went to the television saw something horrifying. 2 towers were burning up in front of the screen. People were screaming and panicking in front of the towers, which had a plane tail sticking out of one of them. It cut to a kid who was crushed under debris, pleading for help. There was blood and organs near the debris. Some kids tried to help him. One of the kids on the ground said, "Happy, why are the towers burning up?" Happy turned to the camera. It zoomed in on his face, and Happy Appy said 3 very infamous words. "That's natural, children," while the kid crushed under the debris kept screaming. The episode ended. Over the next few days, Nickelodeon got a lot of complaints from parents. What was Nickelodeon's response? They put the show on an indefinite hiatus, fired the employees who worked on the towers, and arrested Frederick for airing the episode. They pulled the first 2 off just fine, but tried to find Frederick. When the police broke into his house, there was no one there. Frederick had actually moved out a week ago, and no one except Frederick had known about it. So where did Frederick go? He moved into a 3-story house near Alma, Colorado, where he continued work on Happy Appy. Napoleon, his insane personality, grew more and more dominant, until Frederick's old personality was no more. It was mid-2000. Frederick had just completed Season 1 of Happy Appy. He kidnapped some children to help him with the show, but his most famous kids that he kidnapped were Miranda Bolia, Ray Danny Bolia, Quincy Jenkins, and Abigail J. The kids would be forced to work for the new Season 2, when they liked it or not. The show would be renamed to the Sad Happy Pincushion Show to reduce the police's chance of finding Frederick. He fed the kids daily, however, and didn't make them starve to death. How did he get the food, though, even though he was a wanted criminal? Well, in 2000 he looked different, to say the least. He tore out some of his own hair and dyed it red. He wore sunglasses every time he went outside so no one could see his eyes. To physically top it off, he grew a beard, which he also dyed red. He also changed his identity to Jake Williamson. On October 21st, 2000, he filmed his first snuff episode, titled Napoleon, The Big Help. He forced June, the mother of Ray Danny Bolia, to fight Happy. After a while, an unknown person who was credited as Jake Williamson's #1 fan mimicked Happy's voice. Frederick, wearing regular clothes and a ski mask, came in and brutally murdered June. At the end, the crying Danny walked in and lit the Happy puppet on fire. Frederick threatened to kill him and stormed off screen. However, even though Frederick was mad at Danny, he sent a load of copies of the episode to undisclosed black markets in Russia, Germany, and India. Unfortunately for Frederick, and fortunately for the children, the snuff film thing wasn't going to last. After filming and sending Happy Rots in Hell in 2001, the police found his house. An anonymous contributor, who was most likely Kevin Christensen, told the Colorado police force that Frederick Gargoat was hiding in his house outside Alma. The police got there and broke open the door. They found no one but heard crying in the basement. They went inside and found out that Danny, Miranda, and Abigail were all still alive. They got the 2 out and sent Abigail to her parents. Danny and Miranda would be adopted by an infertile couple. However, Danny would have nightmares about his experience for years to come. However, they couldn't find Frederick, since he ran out into the woods. The police raid angered Frederick, making him long for another kill. He got his chance when he heard that the former voice of Happy Appy, Tristan Ye, was on a new show called Fright House Screamers. Frederick decided to crash the episode they were filming when Jonathan Taylor was going down a hall in the asylum they were filming at. Frederick stabbed him in the back. After slicing him up, Frederick tied a rope around Taylor's foot, similar to how he tied up Tristan Ye. Once he got the other end of the rope tied around a very heavy cinder block, he threw Jonathan's body down a hole into a hallway. Once he heard the conversation between Tristan and Jim about Jonathan, Frederick proceeded to sneak into the balcony that Tristan was on, and stared down the van of the screamers. Once the police had arrived, Frederick silently got out of the vicinity. Now, how did Frederick become forensic? It all began after the police raid and murder of Jonathan Taylor. A few months after the murder, Frederick moved, yet again, to the town of Aberdeen, Washington. During his time there, Frederick grew an intense hate for the Nick Jr. employees who made Happy Appy, because he thought the old Happy Appy wasn't perfect. Frederick was presented with a dilemma. He wanted to kill the old employees, but he also wanted to hide his identity. Napoleon decided to change into a new split personality called Forenzik. How Frederick got the name is unknown, but the most accepted answer is that he watched a show on forensics. Since he wanted to make a unique name, and Forenzik itself wasn't catchy enough, Frederick changed the S to a Z and the C to a K. After Frederick created the Forenzik personality, Nickelodeon kept getting death threats in the mail by him every other day. Since some people were still affected by the anthrax scares, Nickelodeon would iron out every one of his envelopes to read what was inside. Even though the death threats were somewhat brutal, Nickelodeon shrugged off most of it as a sick prank. After a month of death threats, Frederick decided to try something new. A letter came into the mail of a local Nickelodeon broadcaster. The envelope said, "I want to know more about SpongeBob," on it, so a few employees thought it wasn't a death threat from Forenzik. However, an employee didn't buy it, so he took the letter and put it on his office desk. Looking at his watch, he realized that his cue was over, so he left the room and forgot to iron the letter. An intern at the station came into the office and opened the letter thinking it was already ironed out. However, the letter was a trick from Forenzik, as anthrax spread everywhere. Everyone rushed out of the building, and within a matter of seconds, decontamination teams were sent out. The intern who opened the letter died, and Forenzik was officially labeled as a threat. In 2005, Kevin Christensen, who became a janitor at the Nickelodeon Animation Studio, made an epilogue to Happy Appy. It told everyone who watched it to look out for Frederick. However, Frederick moved again to the Big Blue Barn in Alma, Colorado, as the anthrax letter he wrote tipped off the employees to where he was hiding out at the time. His first real murder as Forenzik was in 2006. His first costume didn't have the iconic gas mask or the long coat. Forenzik was bundled under a lot of winter clothing because the first two murders he had committed were during the fall and winter seasons. He also wore a ski mask so no one could see his face. The first person that Forenzik killed was Miranda. Frederick loathed her because she kept talking back to him when he commanded her to be in the episodes, which is exactly why her character was killed. Forenzik found her house a lot easier than Quincy, because she still lived in Alma. Forenzik broke into her house in the dead of night. Miranda woke up and ran to the phone in the living room. Right before she could, Forenzik jumped her and stabbed her to death with what became his scimitar knife. He ran away right before her husband discovered Miranda's body. He called the police, and while the police were there, they confiscated a note. "The woman I just killed starred on a show that I will not name, but I will say that it starred a happy apple. Her role was Miranda, and she annoyed me, to say the least. That's why I killed her. Have fun finding me. Sincerely, Forenzik. P.S. Yes, I'm that same Forenzik from the anthrax bombing. Go me!" Even though they heavily investigated the scene, they could not find a single fingerprint. After a year, Miranda's murder was declared a cold case. No one knew who Frederick was going to kill next. The police researched the episodes of Happy Appy to try to find out who was going to get killed. But they were too late, because later that year Forenzik had killed Quincy in his home at Helena, Montana. The police were baffled about how he had killed him. Once Quincy had heard about Miranda's death, he locked his doors and barred his windows. And yet this Forenzik man had managed to kill him. After Quincy's murder, Forenzik donned new clothing. To make him more agile, he wore a brown overcoat, denim jeans, and tall gray boots. During this change, the most infamous part of his new clothing made a debut: the red-eyed gas mask, with Happy Appy's death smile. And so, the deaths caused by Forenzik just piled up. Most of them were people who were related to Happy Appy. Eventually, 4 major employees were left. There were Kevin Christensen, Jim Forrester, Tristan Ye, and Tristan Drews. Unfortunately for Frederick, Kevin knew he was going to get killed first of the 4 because he screamed at Frederick. He had to warn someone about Forenzik and Happy Appy. After a day, he chose his next-door neighbor, Gerasim Yakovlev. In the middle of the night, Kevin snuck into his garage and put a DVD of Happy Appy in a visible spot. A few days later, on February 26, Kevin was going to get groceries when he got tackled by Forenzik. Forenzik stabbed Christensen multiple times before waiting for Gerasim to go to Kevin's wife's house. On the next day, Gerasim drove to Kevin's house after reading the message left on Happy's trick. After driving back home, knowing that something was stalking him, Gerasim ran into his house and looked back. Forenzik was there, holding up Christensen's mutilated arm. December 21st, 2011. I can't believe I'm using this blog again. Oh well. A week ago, I returned to Frederick's house. Like the abandoned studios, no one was trying to demolish it. I don't know why every abandoned place I go to hasn't been demolished. When I went in Frederick's house, I instantly knew that the house was exactly the same as I left it. The dismantled shotgun trap and the rotten food weren't touched. However, I wasn't in here to pay my respects. No, I was here to know more about how Happy Appy ended with its fate. I first checked Frederick's bedroom, since that was the most likely place. The door was locked, so I had to plow down the door. Frederick's bedroom was odd, to say the least. There was a closet there, but it was full of knives and axes. The bed was just a mattress. There was a table with glass jars on it. I had no idea what they contained because the glass was too foggy. To be honest, I didn't want to know what was in them. Finally, there was a drawer next to the mattress. In it, there were 2 notebooks, the writing kind. I had to take them because they could have had some valuable information on Happy Appy. I walked out of the barn and went back to Aberdeen. I didn't tell the police to demolish it, however, since there might be even more evidence there, although they probably will after seeing this post. February 12th, 1999. Today, I was in a discussion with Nickelodeon managers. They wanted a new show to air in their program, and I was asked to come up with an idea. The managers have given me until the 25th to come up with an idea for the show. I have a perfect idea. My show would be called Attack of the Killer Apples, and would star actors from shows like The Wild Thornberrys or a show like that. The plot would be about a bunch of apples who invade a town. Most of the citizens would fight the apples using various Rube Goldberg machines. The show would be all animated except for the apples, which will be claymation. February 25th, 1999. The show's been disapproved. Most of the people in the meeting room disapproved of the idea. On the good side, some people liked it and thought it would be a hilarious show. But I might have another chance. A man named Keith Blue is working on a second batch of claymation commercials for the recently released preschool channel, Noggin. The first wave of commercials, released on the 4th of February, is very popular with children. I could probably rework Attack of the Killer Apples into a show for Noggin, using the claymation skills of Keith. I'll work on a name and plot tomorrow. February 26, 1999. I've got it! It only took me a while, but now I have a name and plot for the reworked version of Attack of the Killer Apples. The show will be called Happy Appy, and would center on an apple with arms and legs based on my designs from killer apples who would go around and help children. Since the show is going to be on the 3-week-old Noggin, and Keith Blue is working on the claymation, the show will probably be a big hit. That is, if Nickelodeon managers approve of it. Thanks to an injured ankle, however, I'm not going back to work until the 1st of March. At least this gives us some time to finish our production reel for the managers. March 1st, 1999. Today I got into another meeting with Nickelodeon managers. Keith and I told them about how our show is basically a reworked version of Attack of the Killer Apples. I also told them that the claymation would be done by Keith, and showed them the production reel done by us too. They thought about it, and eventually approved of the idea. They said that it would take them a while to fit the show into their schedule. As long as Happy Appy gets released on Nickelodeon, I am perfectly fine with that. March 11th, 1999. I was in a third meeting with Nickelodeon managers today. They discussed with me about the show, where it could be filmed, and the deadline for the first season's episodes. Nickelodeon had an unused studio that we could use for the show. I'm pretty sure it was once used for an old game show called Double Dare. About the deadline, the final deadline for the first two minisodes of Happy Appy would be April 17th, and the show would begin airing on the 26th, and would air another every Monday after that. They also said that on the 23rd we would start filming the first two minisodes. So basically we've got 12 days to prepare for the filming, and another 25 days to film the first two minisodes. That's a lot of time for two 10-minute long episodes. So we'll probably be done by the 4th. March 21st, 1999. Today, two of the people who will be going to work on the show, Kevin Christensen and Tristan Drews, showed me what the puppet would look like. It was surprisingly almost spot on to what I wanted it to be. The puppet was blue eyes, big green lips, a stem with a leaf, and red arms and hands. I did notice one inaccuracy, however. The puppet's stick was rusted and bent. It looks like I will have to fix the puppet when we get the chance. March 23rd, 1999. It was the first day of filming today, and I really don't want to go into details about what happened. Basically, my split personality got the best of me and told me to do something vile. It told me to get Tristan Ye and drag him in by a rope. Unfortunately, I did just that, and I was yelled at by Kevin Christensen. In a flash, my sanity improved, and I let him go. Next, we did 3 filming tests, which were Happy in his van, Tristan doing some of his lines, and Happy helping a kid. And so we began filming the first minisode, Happy's Vacation. The first thing we filmed was what the intro would look like. We decided to just have Happy dance around a sky blue backdrop. Once we got that done, the first scene of the minisode we filmed was Happy driving his van. The radio, which would normally play the theme song, played a personal song that I made. However, when we were almost done with the scene, Kevin stomped his foot on the ground and screamed about what I had done to Tristan. After an argument, he forgave me, and we continued on with the filming. Today, we got about half the footage done for the first half of the episode. I'm working on some more episodes as I'm writing this. How do these ideas sound? Hurt Happy. The second half of the episode that's plot is being worked on. Basically, Happy gets hurt and the children team up and heal him. It's a very sweet episode in my opinion. Happy Appy and the monkey bar injury. The next episode's first half. A kid gets hurt on the monkey bars and Happy heals him. I think the title's too long, to be honest. Maybe it should just be named The Monkey Bar Injury? Happy goes to school. The next episode's second half. Happy goes to a school and heals kids in progress. When I was leaving work today, I heard rumors that Nickelodeon is doing a sponsorship with the Olympics that come out next year, and how this show was selected for the sponsorship. April 1st, 1999. This injury isn't an April Fool's joke, but the employees decided to play one on Noggin. During an episode of Blue's Clues, we aired a fake news flash. We said that Blue's Clues have been cancelled and the last episode made would be aired on the 26th. After a few minutes of Steve sadly talking to the camera, we said, "By the way, April Fools, Blue's Clues isn't cancelled." And the broadcast ended. To be honest, what was the point of that? Anyways, we finished filming on Happy's Vacation, and we are just starting on Hurt Happy. We expect the episode done on the 15th after all edits are finished. April 11th, 1999. My split personality got the better of me again, and that almost showed on Hurt Happy. I created a scene where Happy's stick breaks, and it was intended to have Happy just say, "Oh no, I hurt my stick," or something to that degree. I had poor Tristan stand in the recording booth and yell, in writhing pain, for almost 10 minutes, which hurt his throat, causing him to have to take a break. The scene was created entirely, but Kevin told me off and made me cut it out of the product. April 15th, 1999. Today we sent the finished product to Nickelodeon. Since we're done with the first and second episodes, we're starting on Monkey Bar Mishap and Happy Goes to School. It turns out I was right about the Olympics thing. Not only will Nickelodeon get some more money, but we'll have a greater budget and better claymation. Also, Treston's feeling a bit better, so Happy's voice actor won't have to be temporarily replaced. April 26, 1999. The first episode of Happy Appy was aired today. We got decent ratings and a lot of positive feedback, even though we rushed the episode. How coincidental, because we just finished the episode we were working on. One of the reasons why we finished so quickly was because we got new crew, which sped up the production of the episodes by around 25 or 30%. We're sending Monkey Bar and Goes to School to Nick now, as they must have the episode 7 days or more before they air it. We're now planning to make the Olympics episode. However, we need to have it done by the 3rd of May. May 3rd, 1999. Today, we completed the Olympics episode today and sent it in to Nick. However, the show is taking a short hiatus due to the employees getting tired from making episodes in such a short time span. We expect to be back on the air at the end of the month with 2 new episodes. June 4th, 1999. Oh God, yesterday was horrible. So, pretty much we got to see a joke episode I made for the show. The episode called The Towers is about 2 towers burning up. I got the idea in a dream about Happy Appy. It had Happy teaching the kids about the cycle of life. Went pretty normal until my schizophrenia distorted the dream, and it showed Happy and the kids frozen in shock at the Twin Towers burning up. Anyways, I kept saying it would never be aired. However, my split personality decided to air it anyways. I went to the Nick Studios and I don't remember anything after that. What I do remember is that the police are after my blood. I can't let my split personality take over. His name is Napoleon for whatever reason. I can't. I can't. I will. I can't. June 5th, 2000. Haha! I found you again, my old journal. It is I, Frederick Gargote, or, as you will call me from now on, Napoleon. I have kidnapped various children, and I'm using them as cast on my new and improved Happy Appy. A day ago, I completed Season 1, and now I'm working on the 2nd season. The children I have kidnapped include a little sweetie named Miranda, a tough boy named Danny, and a scared boy named Quincy, to say a few. October 21st, 2000. It is I, the Great Napoleon. I have just made what is probably the best episode in the history of the show. It's called Frederick, the Big Help, starring none other than me. I might change the title later so that I'm not arrested by those police fools, though. In the episode, I kill a woman named June, who is Danny's and Miranda's mother. What I did on the episode was beautiful. I ripped her to shreds. Oh, the joys. October 29th, 2000. Help me. Please! This is the sane Frederick writing. I woke up today and found out that I killed and mutilated a woman named Jane Bolia. I tried to reach for the phone to call 911, but this Napoleon guy got into a fight with me for several hours. I think he's trying to come back. I can't let him come back. I want to be sent to the asylum so that I can't be a threat anymore. I can't. Oh, yes, you can. I can't. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, what's this? It seems to be an injury from that unpleasant Frederick. I'll show him. Anyways, I'm doing fine, my journal. Just ripping up people to make my show the most beautiful show in the world. May 1st, 2001. No. Why? Someone has decided to call the police on me. And thanks to that man or woman, I don't have a house. I sincerely can't believe that someone would do this. Oh boy, when I find whoever called the police, I'll take him away and kill him and rip him up and throw pieces of him in his hometown. October 2nd, 2003. It's sane Frederick again. I'm glad I was able to calm down and become mentally stable for once. Well, this is sad. Not only are the police after me, but I have to go in a different identity. Thankfully, though, it looks like things are clearing up for the better. I haven't turned into Napoleon or whatever his name is in a while, so maybe I'll be free of him. No. He's trying to come back. I can feel it. I have to go now. I have to go now. Now, Napoleon's returned again. January 2nd, 2005. Haha! Today, I have successfully bombed Nickelodeon Studios. Well, I can't really say bombed as in I blew up the studios bombed, can I? I mean more like anthrax bombing. Oh yeah, I'm now a threat apparently. Well, it looks like they finally know the wrath of Forenzik. If you don't know what Forenzik is supposed to be, it's my new name I came up with. It's like Forensics, but more notable, I guess. January 3rd, 2005. Sane Frederick again, and I'm trying to break free of Forenzik again. It's getting harder to become sane again, due to the fact that this Forenzik man is getting more powerful. I think that by the end of March, I can't go sane again. September 19th, 2006. Well, I have finally created the greatest plan ever thought of. Basically, any member of Happy Appy that I hated so much with my little hatred, passions, murder, slice their guts out, hear them wail, wah, cry more for mommy as I slice your eyes out with a rusting knife and pull your intestines out 5 inches at a time. I apologize for that. It seems my hate grew too big. Basically, any member of Happy Appy that I hated will get killed in brutal deaths that only someone like me, and me alone, could have the hatredness to do. October 19th, 2006. Today, I did my first physical murder under my moniker Forenzik. It was on that failure known as Miranda. The little girl deserved to die a horrible death. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Anyways, she didn't even know I was coming. It was incredibly easy to find her because she was still living in Alma, for crying out loud. It was like finding blood on a blue surface. Anyways, I plan to kill Quincy next, but want to know the best news of all? My sane self is gone now. He can't ever come back. Well, I hope he can't. December 25th, 2006. Merry Christmas, Journal. You know, many important things happened today. Jesus was born, Christmas Island was found, and yes, something related to me did happen. I did another murder today. Hooray! Guess who it is? That's right. I killed Quincy. It was hard to kill him, though. He boarded up his windows, chimney, doors, and even the vents. But somehow, I did manage to kill him. I need to kill more. More! Now! I'm coming to take them away to hell. June 3rd, 2007. Today, I have finished my costume to wear when I kill people. The previous one had restricted my movements, but this one should make me move freely. It's less clothing than the first one, yet still hides my body. I've also made a gas mask for me to wear. It has Happy Appy's smile on it, and some red eyes. Now I'm ready to kill everybody who worked for that show, without having to worry about my identity being revealed. February 27th, 2011. Guess who I killed today? It was Kevin Christensen, leaving only a few crew of that more inferior version alive. He was near his car, trying to enter his horrible house when I stabbed him to his death. Even though he's dead, there's still a huge problem, a problem that threatens my very life. His neighbor, Gerasim Yakovlev, has found out about that show. I showed him my new victim by holding up his bloodied arm. He looked back and shut the door. Oh well. At least, he looks easy to kill. Or is he? I wonder. June 11th, 2011. Dear Journal, I did something you'd like a lot. Remember that Gerasim Yakovlev guy or whatever his last name is? It was Yakovlev, Forenzik. Think! Well, I did something to his house. No, I didn't vandalize it or steal something. Let's just say I got a little too handy with a lighter. That's right! I burned down his house and ruined all of his stuff. Let's see if he'll talk about the show anymore after this. July 14th, 2011. Today, I have killed that horrible excuse for my creation's voice actor Treston Ye, leaving Jim Forrester and a few others that I never really cared about or was friends with alive. I slashed him to death with my knives, ripping open his chest in the process, and exposing his various body parts. Now I'm planning to bring his body to my hideout in John Wilkinson's summer camp. On another note, I'm getting very suspicious of Gerazim. Could he be extremely hard to kill? I hope not, because I would love to kill him, and slice him up, and display him on my wall for my followers to see, and we will show the police of Aberdeen what his body looks like, and send his body parts to them police. And we'll go after his little brother and kill him too. July 26, 2011. Today, I sent one of my helpers to the abandoned studios that the inferior, shall I say, show was produced. He's going to burn it down so that Gerazim can never get anything there. Well, I hope. August 22nd, 2011. I tried to post a post on Gerazim's blog today. I used a keylogger to get his password and info. After that, I started making a post, but as I was at the best part, disposing of his body, which would have probably ended up making the post 1,000,000,000 times longer, it disconnected me. How sad. Because I really wanted to finish my post, and show him that I really want to make him suffer a slow and painful death. September 6, 2011. I tried to kill Gerazim today again. This time, I sent my follower Nathan Jakeman to trick him into thinking that a Happy Appy employee wanted to meet him. However, even though he saw his car, he didn't see him. Maybe Gerazim didn't come, or at the most, he did come but Nathan didn't see him. September 12th, 2011. Damn it! Okay, let me say that I failed to kill Gerazim again. I need to come up with new plans. Now that I got that out of the way, I sent one of my followers, Willie Batts, to get Gerazim to go to old Johnny's abandoned summer camp. If you don't know what happened to it, he basically found that murder was so natural, and went on a killing spree. Once there, Jera would see the bodies of 3 employees I specifically hated, if you will, and Willie would kill him. Well, it all went wrong. Not only did Gerazim know that he was going to kill him, but he chopped off his arm in return, and burned down the shack with the bodies. Like I just said, I need to come up with a better plan than just killing him outright. Mental scarring, perhaps? December 23rd, 2011. And that's all the forensic journals. I have some questions about these entries, to be honest. First off, it's very ironic to see Frederick say that he was content with the show airing on Nickelodeon. Also, why the hell is Frederick obsessed with Napoleon and his songs? However, I am glad to see that they recovered 2 missing Doctor Who episodes during the time that I was gone.